to play sound football, I find them getting back into this one.
And that's just one of the hallmarks of a young team. They've got a whole lot of new starters on both sides of the football and not a whole lot of time to practice and mesh together given the nature of this COVID 2020 season. It's been very interesting to see how each team is able to handle it in their own way and what they're able to get done in the off season as they prepare for this varsity football season.
And that's one thing that coming into this season, and it applies obviously every single season, so this is no new ground, but a good coaching staff being able to get their team ready for this season is something that, goes without saying how important it is. Being able to get your guys tuned up, ready to go with everything surrounding on week 1, week 2, and not needing to do it by week 3 is just something you could say about any program.
Back to receive this kick. Max Lauer flanked by both Moores on either side. And Lauer will come up under it just behind the 10. He's found himself a seam towards the left side, and he's still in bounds. Will reach the 35.
Yeah, Lauer's good ball handling. I mean, when he's running out there, he's tough to bring down. He's got some moves to shake and wake you, but this is it goes, and I've said it 3 times already here in this young half, how important this first drive will be. If Baden can get out there, score quickly, that's a gut punch and a tremendous one. Maybe not quite the knockout blow, but you're definitely putting them on the canvas.
So an important opening drive for both teams out here tonight. Viderek in the pistol, getting the signal call in. He'll have receivers to the left and the right. Rawlings to the left in the backfield. Rawlings across the 40. Good pickup, first down.
Yeah, the great wide hole there to begin this second half. Double teaming there. That 3 technique, I believe it was. Pushing them out, getting the wide separation, and getting them into, that second line, those linebackers, and getting 7 yards.
Second and short upcoming for the Rams. Haven't seen a ton of the long ball tonight, but just a little bit of everything else. As there's a false start, had to imagine that was coming as so many different things happening there. 3 different receivers going in motion for Baden.
It was actually the left tackle, number 66, Jeffrey Dick, who's going to be called on the false start. They did a hard count there to initiate those 3 wideouts moving, and it caught the left tackle.
So much motion like that becoming a staple of offenses both at the college level and the NFL. And it's any bit of motion to give yourself a little bit of advantage on the defense and see what they're going to do, but very tough to execute. There's a pass complete over the middle to Schweinefus, and going down that right sideline across midfield will be David Schweinefus for the Rams.
Yeah, listen, the Schweinefus twins, fantastic athletes, 2-sport athletes, but they're not going to beat you on their legs. They're not the fastest guys out on the field, but what he was able to do was use the stiff arm, create that separation, which gave him an extra 15 yards, using that leverage, his long arms, keeping the defender away from him.
Baden going quick now. Going to toss it to Walsh out on the left side. He's got room, 1 man to beat. Touchdown, Baden.
Yeah, Baden doing it again. We've been talking about how those quick snaps have gotten Chaminade Julien's defensive line out of position so many times. Right when they were snapping the ball, the defensive line was switching, which opened the hole wide open for Walsh out on the edge. They pushed him out, and he just had 1 man to beat downfield, and there's that gut punch. Like I said, not a knockout, but definitely putting Chaminade Julien on the canvas.
In to attempt that extra point once again tonight, Joe Harding taking up kicking duties. Kick is up, and this one no good, wide to the right.
Yeah, just a little wide right. The push. Coach Yordi getting on Harding, too.
But that opening drive does result in a touchdown. Will put Badin up by 19. 26-7 your score out here early in the third quarter. Badin rolling.
If you're trying to choose between crispy or sizzling, remember, the or is optional.
Bundle 6-piece chicken McNuggets or a double cheeseburger with small fries for just $3.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Welcome back to Saturday Night Football on Chatterbox Live. Out here in Trenton, Badin taking care of business on senior night. Two teams that lost a lot of seniors last year, and so far, Badin showing a bit more poise out here tonight as they are up 26-7. Schweinefus kicking off, and Owens comes up under it, about the 15-yard line, and he will be ushered out of bounds. Not much further, he'll gain the 16.
Yeah, and Chaminade needs to figure out a way to put points on the board. You know, it's going to be tough for the rest of this game to stop Badin. All you can do if you're an offensive player is you got to say, hey, if this has to be a shootout, we got to do our part.
It will be 1st and 10 from that 16-yard line.
It'll be
And not ideal position for Chaminade coming into this one, but if not now, when?
I'm interested to see those 5-10 plays that they draw up at halftime to say this is what we want to run to see where we're at.
Chandler batted down at the line of scrimmage. Coming in there to make that swat was Logan New.
Yeah, Chandler calm and poised in the pocket, not giving him a clear line of sight, and New just coming on up, almost Mutombo in it, back into the end zone.
Well, that's one thing. Even though Chandler has had some ups and downs in his career, one thing that head coach Marcus Colvin talked about with his quarterback, he said he is confident. He said he has made some mistakes, and he'll make some more. He said the important thing is he always gets back up, and he's willing to go back out there and have another go at it.
He's clearly athletic, and, you know, they did a jet sweep read there by Chandler, and I think he made the right call as out on the perimeter of the edge, the handoff was not going to work at all. The only problem was he couldn't work upfield quick enough. He couldn't get it away from the running back, and Badin did a fantastic job at staying with Chandler and getting the tackle for the loss.
We're going to have Walter Sledge in the backfield. Owens and Lamb out to the left. And that play is nothing doing for Sledge.
Yeah, that happened so quickly. The defensive line got back there so quickly that I couldn't even tell where the ball carrier was. I couldn't even see where Chandler handed it off.
Absolutely. Hunter Harrison and Jaden Carter combining on that tackle for loss. And Chaminade's going to have to punt this one away to the waiting Max Lauer.
And more than likely, Badin's going to get the ball on Chaminade's half of the field with a chance to make this a 4-score game when they get the ball back.
Braden Moore will join Lauer at the 40. Moore will take it at the 42. Cuts to the sideline, and forward progress will have him as far as the 37-yard line. Great starting field position for the Rams to cash in again.
Moore actually had a pretty good block in front of him, a double team on the guys that released downfield to go get the returner. Just couldn't work upfield quick enough. But nonetheless, the Badin Rams are going to take over on the 37-yard line. And we're only 3.5 minutes into this second half, and it's got the potential of being a 4-score game.
Credit to Badin. Coming in, making a drive right away out of halftime and then forcing the 3 and out. Got the ball right back to him. Pitch is going to go to Lucas Moore. Got blockers out front, and he'll go close to that first down marker. And yet again, another strong gain on first down.
Like I mentioned, they did that earlier. They bunch up the defense, and then they're going to do a reverse out on the edge. But Lucas Moore backtracked a little bit on the play, which gives every head coach, every offensive coordinator a near heart attack when you're working backwards in the field, but it pays dividends there as Moore gets up the field for a 9-yard carry.
2nd and 1 for the Rams. Viderek towards the sideline, hits Lauer to the 20.
Yeah, those curl routes are wide open every single time, and Baden will continue to do that if CJ continuously uses man-to-man defense out on the perimeter, because that's going to work at the high school level 10 times out of 10.
That'll set up the Rams right on the edge of the red zone. And Baden has been able to more or less do whatever they've wanted to do on offense out here tonight.
Well, yeah, they do both things so well, both passing it on the perimeter, moving the ball in the box so well. It makes you think on the defensive side.
Viderek, keeper, rolling. Hits Imhoff, and he'll have the first down. Brady Imhoff with the catch and run to pick up the first.
Yeah, even with a junior quarterback who has clearly the intangibles of being a fantastic quarterback, good arm, he's got the confidence, great athlete, still they limit the selection process for him. And from the time that play is drawn up, that ball is going to Imhoff almost every single time. If it's not, it's going to be kept by Viderek. And it's amazing to see how well, when you draw up a play like that, how open Imhoff is.
Rams right back up to the line. 7.5 gone in this third quarter. 1st and goal, Baden. Handoff up the middle will go as far as the 5-yard line as Dallas Rawlings takes the give.
Don't be surprised here. They're actually going to give him, a yard or two on the carry? Possibly a few more. But I would not be surprised at all if they called Dallas Rawlings' name again. Maybe a zone read for Viderek and Rawlings, all depending on that right end over there.
2 receivers to the left. Viderek, keeper, round the right side. Too easy.
Am I Tony Romo? Seriously, am I Tony Romo? I mean, I called that play to a T. They just ran the exact same play to Dallas Rawlings. They set that play up. Then they're looking on the right end right there. If he crashes on Rawlings like we just saw, Viderek's going to take it on the outside. We saw that earlier in the game. We're going to continue to see it, and all of a sudden the Baden Rams are up 4 scores.
For those of you watching at home, what you don't know is when I said too easy, I was actually talking about Reed. He's got Nostradamus up in the booth here, and once again making that proper call. A drive that only took about 1:45 off the clock. 4 plays capped off by that Viderek keeper.
So they're going to go for 2 as they missed already a pair of point-after touchdowns.
Try and make that back. Interesting call tonight as Baden had a different place kicker tonight. They've been running with Joe Harding. Usually, Michael Schweinefus will handle those duties. And that may be a lack of faith in Harding will have led to the going for 2 here. Referee's talking about it. I don't know that I've ever seen.
It seemed like it was a false start from our perspective,
right.
But just the way that the offensive line reacted to it, just standing up, it seemed like there might have been something hanky on the defensive side.
They are going to call it on Chaminade. Much ado about a neutral zone infraction. So they'll set it up again. That'll make it even easier to be able to go for 2.
So see if they move it halfway to the line. Yeah, it's going to be just about 2 feet from the end zone, from the goal line.
And that is exactly where it'll help to have 6'1" quarterback like Vitorek.
Well, now they're bringing out the kick team. I guess it was the extra 2 yards that Baden was really worried about on the PAT.
Well, so the 2 yards are erased, and they will send Harding out there. Thought they, for a second, had thrown another flag.
Yeah, I mean,
that's just a referee-to-referee assist on the flag.
I mean, I don't understand this one.
Harding, kick is up, and it is good.
Well, Harding heard the stiff talking to he got from Coach Yorty on the last PAT, and he sent it about 30 yards through the uprights.
We will take a moment to remind you that this game is sponsored by All Hustle. Are you in the market for team uniforms, spirit wear, or apparel for your business or special event? All Hustle would like to help. They specialize in custom design for most youth and adult sports. All Hustle will also help you with custom masks and neck gaiters if you are in need. Give All Hustle a call at 484-4444. That's 484-4444.
There was a west side of Cincinnati rapper that had a song that I'm gonna need to look this up when I get a chance. It was All Hustle, No Luck.
All hustle, no luck. It's probably a decent description for Chaminade this evening. They have definitely been flocking to the ball tonight, but just haven't had those key moments be able to come up with it. Things started out very well for the Eagles tonight. 61-yarder from Luke Chandler to Keon Owens, and things were looking very good early. But then after that, it's been 33 unanswered points as Baden has firmly taken control of this football game. Kickoff. Owens has it at the 15. And he will not get much further than that. Tackle is made, forward progress out to about the 25-yard line.
We're reaching the Eagles' last stand here. I know there's still 19 minutes to go. But with everything going Baden's way, desperately need to find some points in the end zone and fairly quickly. We'll see what they elect to do offensively. Like I said earlier in the game, the pressure from Baden's defense has been so great that deep passes downfield have just been non-existent or not an option for the Eagles with Chandler.
Credit to that defensive front of Baden. They do have the speed, does Chaminade, but they just haven't had the time. Chandler over the middle to Peltier, intercepted. This could be a house call, and it is. Bobby Young with the interception earlier tonight. Count another one for 6 for the senior.
Remember Miami's turnover chain? Well, I think Baden's grasping it tonight as another tipped pass ends up in the secondary's hands. And that's just that tip drill that seems kind of pointless in football practice. That's why you get around the ball. When the pass is up in the air, you got to be right there. And Bobby Young shows you why as he gets 6 on the board.
History repeats itself as that tip was off the hands of Peltier. That led to an interception earlier for Young. And Young once again fortunate. Kick is up and good. And just like that, all of a sudden 39-7 now 40-7 with that extra point. Baden all on top of Chaminade here at home. You're watching Saturday Night Football here on Chatterbox Live.
If you're trying to choose between crispy or sizzling, remember, the or is optional.
Bundle 6-piece Chicken McNuggets or a double cheeseburger with small fries for just $3.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Welcome back to Saturday Night Football here on Chatterbox Live. Nathaniel Hipsley and Reed Mouse coming to you from Trenton, where Baden has piled on here in the second half. It was 20-7, and then in the space of about 6 minutes, it's 40-7.
Yeah, that's turnovers and quick scores. You know, Baden, each time that they've been on offense, quickly getting in the end zone, and then a pick six doesn't really help the cause.
Keon Owens takes the return. He's been a busy man here tonight. And he finds a crease on that left side, still on his feet, out of bounds, just shy of the 40.
Yeah, and worth mentioning that we are past the threshold for the running clock. So unless CJ can find the end zone and make this less than a 30-point lead, or deficit, I should say, this game will be over in about 18 minutes of play.
And that's credit to the Rams on both sides of the football tonight. Been making great plays offensively, and they've had the defense to back them up. Forced a fumble, couple of interceptions, and then a third interception just moments ago by Bobby Young, taken back to the house for the score. Handoff goes for a yard or two. That'll be the first carry we've seen tonight out of Amari Lattimore.
Yeah, and if you're Marcus Colvin or whoever calls the plays for the Eagles, it's a tough call either way. It's, do we hand the ball off and run into the brick wall that is this defensive line from Baden, or do we try and throw the ball, and the wide receivers have been tipping it all night and ended up in an interception?
Chandler hits his man close to the sticks. That'll be Owens picking up the first down.
On the receiving end of the pass, pushed out of bounds.
So there it is again. I mean, Chandler, what we've seen is, you know, Peltier has had a couple tips that have ended in interceptions, but the one guy who has been has answered the bell every single time is Owens, as he got CJ up. Worth reminding, it's 40 unanswered points for Baden. CJ got the first score of the game.
Right. And that is one of those guys that will have to step up and keep shouldering the load as the season goes on for Chaminade. Owens last year as a sophomore, 686 yards, good for third, as that one was nearly picked off on the defense there by Brady Imhoff. He was good for third in the GCL in terms of receiving. He comes back as a junior, has that ability to break big plays. The only thing is, he'll be up to par. Is there anyone else who can step up? We've seen some out of J.P. Peltier tonight. Going to need another receiver or two and probably some of that run game to be able to pick up. Last season, they were able to rely on a heavy dosage of Marquise and Markel Henry, along with first-team All-GCL back Quincy Johnson. There's Chandler again hitting Owens, and he'll be shuffled out of bounds.
Well, like you mentioned, they've got two pieces of the puzzle already. Chandler, fantastic athletic quarterback, you know, breeds confidence, taking the snaps. You got Owens out there on the perimeter, a perennial playmaker. But the problem is, this is a team sport, maybe the greatest team sport there is. You need 11 guys out there. You're only as strong as your weakest link.
Two receivers to the right, one left. Now three to the right as they'll motion Owens. Owens on the screen, unable to hang on, and that's bringing up fourth down for the Eagles.
Yeah, and just like we've been jocking Owens up, he drops one off right there, and not that it would have resulted in much because it seemed like Baden's defense was right there to make the plays.
That's one thing for Chaminade to watch as well. Obviously, they're lacking a little bit of a ground game tonight, but you wonder how much of that is the running backs themselves or that offensive line. There's some youth there as well, as there are in a lot of places for Chaminade, and that's something that will probably improve as the season goes along and that young unit is able to gel together. Chandler over the middle finds Peltier.
They're going to say he caught it. And that's a good pass, low-lining pass there from Chandler. He knew he couldn't go over top because that would probably be disrupted by the secondary. Peltier coming in, making the shoestring catch, just making sure he grabs it. Referee right there saw he caught it. And you know what? Just like they've done momentarily throughout multiple points of this game, they are moving the ball downfield. It's just the turnovers.
Last time on this side of the field ended in an interception by David Schweinefus as Chandler's going to take off there and wrapped up for a minimal gain on bring up second down.
Yeah, there's those mistakes. Once again, that's what young teams do. Chandler was looking to hand the ball off to his running back. His running back went the opposite way. Went on the left side of him. He was looking for the right side handoff, and he just went, oh, nobody's home. Got to take it myself.
2nd and 9.
Chandler, a two-sport athlete, plays basketball for the Chaminade-Julienne Eagles, comes off the bench, did so last season. Imagine he will again. Head coach Marcus Colvin said he encourages all of his athletes to play as many other sports as they like, as the give is there to Walter Sledge. And that's paid dividends historically for this program, as a lot of the players like to wrestle.
Really?
A lot of guys on the wrestling team, chief among them, we've called his name a couple of times here tonight, David Frederick. So far in his career, 3 times he's qualified for the state finals. And he was hoping to do so again this year. Was disappointed not to be able to wrestle those finals to completion last season. Obviously disrupted at the end, but quite a good wrestler in there in the 170-pound weight class.
All right. Well, CJ has historically been a very good football team, a very good basketball team, but as of late, it's dominated their athletics? The baseball program, back-to-back state champions.
Yes, indeed.
Still the reigning state champions at that.
That's going to bring the third quarter to a close. Remember, we have that running clock. We'll be back with the fourth quarter after this. Badin up 40-7 at home.
If you're trying to choose between crispy or sizzling, remember, the or is optional.
Bundle 6-piece Chicken McNuggets or a double cheeseburger with small fries for just $3.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Back out in Trenton, Saturday Night Football on Chatterbox Live. Nathaniel Hipsley and Reed Mouse as we get ready to start off the fourth quarter. It has been, after a brief start there by Chaminade-Julienne, all Badin. 40 unanswered points at this point, 40-7 your score as it stands. Got a running clock in effect and a fourth down upcoming for the Eagles as we switch sides.
Yeah, after the touchdown that led off scoring here tonight, one thing I mentioned before the game is I wanted to see CJ get up early, because it seems like that's what Badin does week in and week out, and really just continue to throttle throughout the rest of the game. Well, CJ did that. Well, Badin just answered right back, and in fact answered 40 without the call back.